Hello, 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 everybody. It is Tammy coming to you live from my office and in some pajamas today and with my hair pulled back and with some good coffee. It is Sunday sermon. It is that time of the day when we talk about all the things to talk about. So do me a favor as you jump on here today, drop me a one if you're watching this live. If you're watching this live, that little live somewhere over here, somewhere, let's see. Right there. Somewhere right there, it'll say live. And if that is not there, then you're watching this on a replay. And you're going to give me a hashtag replay or a number 2 in the comments. And what I love to do is if you are watching this on the replay, you're watching this some later time, it's not Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, then to drop me the date and time that you saw it, because I would love to be able to know when we're finding this. So again, if you could just say hello, Facebook user, what's going on? Good morning, Gina, for watching it live. I love that so much. Do me a favor, y'all, and tag a friend in the comments. We are going to do some cards today, and we're going to talk about a couple of different things. So I appreciate you all jumping on this morning. It is I'm going to do this. Boom. Okay, that's a little bit easier. I can move my angle correctly on me. We are going to talk about a couple of things today because I am live in a couple of places. So I'm live on my YouTube channel. So if you're over there on YouTube, please subscribe. Whatever you do over there, make sure you follow me. Promise you it's worth it. I am live here in Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles. And, excuse me, I am live in Party with Tammy. Good morning. I love it. Is she in town? I wish I would have known. I would have come by and get a hug from her, hug her neck. I'm super excited that y'all are together. I love those pictures too, Kalima. I love that. So a couple of things. Number one, tomorrow I am starting if you're a Party with Tammy, this is for Party with Tammy people. If you're not Party with Tammy people and you're interested, listen up, okay? So as you know, we're live in a couple of places. Number one, Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles. We know all about that, right? We are live in Party with Tammy, which is my pure romance business. I love that she's taking care of you. I love that so much. Good morning back to you, beautiful. So tomorrow starts my 21-day gut health program with Pure Romance called Pure 21. All the stuff is sitting back here, all of my supplements, all of my whey protein, all of the things. Let me go ahead and boom, boom, boom. I'm going to grab what I have here. So I've got my whey protein. I got vanilla because I figured you could add a lot of stuff to that. Then I have my shaker bottle, all of my gut health enzymes, all of the things, right? Now, y'all see all these pill bottles. You're like, Tammy, over in Hometown Hippie, you were plants over pills, and I am 100% plants over pills. But I got to get my gut in shape. And this is going to give me a multivitamin. This is my digestive supplement, my enzyme, my probiotic. This one is a colon cleanse. So basically, it's going to be some great story fodder, I'm sure. So I'm going to give this a try. It's a 21-day gut health program. You're going to love it. I'm on week 3 tomorrow. Okay. I am a little nervous about it. So you're going to love it. I'm on week 3 tomorrow. I'm going to trust you on that. I'm going to fill this out. And a lot of things that I tell y'all, even here at Hometown Hippie, is that when I stand behind a product like Hometown Hippie, I create it. From the bottom up, I create it. So I definitely stand behind it. A lot of the things with Pure Romance, I will not put my seal of approval on it until I personally try it. So if you're following me as your consultant, your romance consultant, or your edible consultant, know that I am going to make sure that there's efficacy before I pop it out to market. So I am 100% going to give this a try, going to document it all, going to take you through the journey with it. And if you choose to join me on the journey, then that is awesome. I've got the stuff to help you do it. But if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. I get that. And not everything is for everybody. And that's what we're going to talk about today, right? That not everything is for everybody. And I think that we spend so much of our time trying to fit everything in for everybody, right? Like every single sweet treat I do, right, in Hometown Hippie, everything that I create is not for everybody, right? And you can't please everybody all the time. And that's not just in business, that's in life, right? That is in life. So tell me in the comments, give me some thumbs up, some hearts if you know that you agree with what I just said, right? You can't please all the people all the time, right? So if you're a parent, maybe, right? Not everything is for everybody, right? And that takes a lot of people need to understand that. And I think that that's a lot of the problem in this world, because people get so upset. Well, like that offends me, or that's not that they didn't think of me, because not everything is for you, right? If something upsets you or offends you or pisses you off or you get upset about it, then that blessing was not for you. Right? That was not for you. So a little update, right? Like I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you are subscribed to text messages, you already know, right? That this week's sweet treat of the week may not be for everybody, right? But here's the thing. This week is going to be a new little, I'm trying to do like a healthier menu, have some options for people because of dietary restrictions. So this week I am trying 4 or 5 new things out that are gluten-free and dairy-free. So these items are gluten-free. Hey, what's going on? Are gluten-free and dairy-free. And so if you're someone who is gluten or dairy-free, for months now, the treats that I've been making are not for you, right? You're like, I can't eat those. They're not mine. I can't do those. These are. But if you're someone who loves sugar and butter and flour and all of the dairy and all of the gluten, then these things are not for you. Just like with Pure 21, right? If you're like, my gut is perfect health. I already have all of my vitamins. I have all of the things. Then that's not for you. It's just like sometimes a message, right? Sometimes a lesson, sometimes an opportunity, right? Not every opportunity is for every person. Not everything is for everybody. And the thing is that the lesson here is this, right? Stay in your lane. like know what is for you. And a lot of times we get upset and we get hurt by things. Not the caramels were good, a little stronger than I'm used to, so I just can't. There you go. I love that. So I love that. You just cut them into smaller pieces. That works out perfectly. I love that so much. But I think about it. I love that those things are all on point, right? And I'm hoping that these healthier options are on point as well. I love this. I'm not sure who this is. But it says exactly every person needs to work with what works for them. 1,000,000%, right? But a lot of us get lost in the sauce, and that's today's message, right? We get lost in the sauce because we don't know what works for us, right? We don't know. Hello. We don't know, right? You might have some kosher vegan. Yes. Vegan is definitely a gluten-free, dairy-free, and they're vegan. I'm gonna put my fan on. I got a little warm in here. We are going to again, like I said, good morning. But when I say like not everything is for everybody, right? Good morning, Wendy. Hope you're doing well. I did not know you were an accent until I added you on Facebook, and I'm like, holy crap, I missed all that. Sending much love and light to you, and we'll talk soon, okay? But if we don't know what we need, right? If we don't know, we're not true to ourselves. We don't take time to stop, right? And to define what it is that we want. What is our lane? What we need for ourselves, right? We are so, sometimes we get lazy. That's a good word for it, right? Sometimes we get lazy and we're so used to the media and everybody telling us what we need, what we want, what we need, how we need it, right? So that is where this culture of thinking that everything is for everybody comes from, right? And here's the thing. I tell people this in Party with Tammy. I'm going to tell you this in Hometown Hippie. And Party with Tammy, if you're over there, and this is, it's a female only group. We do a lot of like sexual health matters. We have toys, we have enhancement creams, we have bath and beauty. We've got a little bit of everything, right? But not all of it's for everybody. But I tell people all the time, like, well, what's the best toy? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, every single person is different. That's why I'm a cannabis concierge, right? That's why I'm a consultant. That's why I am your partner in this. It's because my goal is not to sell you. My goal is not to say, what's up? I know that's Tammy Ament. I know that is. Has to be. Is that Tammy Ament from Denver, Colorado? She's the only person out of Colorado. But because we don't, like, what do you mean you don't know? I'm like, because every person is different, right? And I would rather you spend $10 on a toy or whatever that you're going to use every day. It's going to bring you joy. It's going to bring you orgasms and happiness and all the things. And if $10 does that for you, then that's the very best toy or whatever for you, right? Thank you, Gina. That's awesome. Yes, it is you. I love that. So I want you to know, to define what's for you, right? It's okay if you don't like something. It's okay if you have your own idea of what works for you. The important thing is this is the message that came to me just now, and it was my mom telling me in my ear. So y'all know that I'm also a little woo-woo, and I hear my little messages that y'all need to hear. And it was, you've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And that song is just playing in my ear right now. You've got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Right? You ever heard that? Anybody know that song? Give me some thumbs up, some hearts if you know that song. You got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything, right? And that is how this commercialized culture of you need this, everybody needs this, right? Everybody needs Slim Fast. Everybody needs the Beachbody. Everybody needs this. Everybody needs that. No, you don't, right? No, you don't. You need to know what you need for you, right? You need to know what your body needs. And how do you do that, right? How do you know what you need, right? How do you know what you need? Maybe like, well, I didn't know I needed that till somebody told me I needed it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The reason that we sometimes don't know what we need and get mad that everything's not for us, right? We get upset about it. It's because we're so afraid to take a second, like 1 second, to stop and to listen to what our body tells us. Now, not everybody's scared of that. A lot of people do that. I know a lot of people in my sphere of influence that understand that. I've been working with a lot of you in Party with Tammy for years about stopping, inhale the good stuff, exhale the bad stuff. Listen, right? When I come into a shopping room, everybody needs to stop thinking they know what other people need. They do, but here's I'm going to tell you this, Wendy. A lot of people do that because they're in a culture of, they've been conditioned, right? They've been conditioned to people please. And by people pleasing, they're trying to create something that everybody likes because they're trying to find their self-value through creating something that they think other people need. Now, what I think you're getting at is this, right? A lot of people also love to do that. Well, it worked for me. Right. Well, I know because I had for example, I know that you just had nose surgery. I'm using this as an example. I don't know if this is at all relevant, but I know that I had broken my jaw back in high school. And every person who broke their jaw wanted to tell me about their experience of breaking their jaw and exactly how I needed to handle it because this is what they did. Like, I'm guessing that, when you have, like, I know, for example, like, think about this. So who here has been pregnant, right? If you've been pregnant before, like, I have never been pregnant. I've never been pregnant. And I go to a baby shower. So for me, like, not ever like having been pregnant and knowing that, I was not able to have kids, I can always kind of like stand in the corner and watch in those situations because there's not a lot of pressure on me, right? And I have heard like every baby shower I've ever been to, there's like an older aunt or a mother-in-law or a mother or some woman who's had some tremendously like complicated pregnancy experience, and it's like she wants to like tell everybody about her experience and how if you eat this is like, she like, it scares this poor little pregnant girl to death usually. Like, it's like this crazy like cesarean or like birth in a car. There's always this one crazy story, and I'm thinking to myself, number one, why are you Could you try again? No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. But I feel like here's what it is. It's that number one, people don't mean it in a bad way. They mean it from a way of empathy, right? They're trying to everyone exactly. That's what I was getting at, right? Everybody's such a me-centric world we live in right now that they're trying. A lot of people see that as like they're trying to bring the conversation back around to themselves. But I know that that's why I started following a lot of groups. Yeah, that's why I found that the best thing to do is like I have empathy and I can say, here's what I know about the topic. This is my own personal experience with the topic, right? Yes, there's always that one or two that do that, right? It has them scared to death. But here's the thing, like that's their story. That's their experience, right? So what we need to do is we need to stop and we need to take a deep breath. And here's the best advice that I have been given this week, and I'm going to pass it on to you. We need to take a deep breath, exhale, let go, and let God, right? Let go of it. We can ask a million questions about somebody's situation, but we need to experience that situation for ourselves, right? We need to define what the things like, if we don't stand for something, we fall for anything. What is your opinion? But a lot of us have always, we're so afraid to give an opinion. We've been so accustomed to like falling into like a group. Like, are we in this group or in that? We all walk our individual paths, right? We all have our own individual lens from which we see life. And this is something that I was listening to this week, and it's so interesting with the 4 agreements, right? Is that we all live in a dream and we all see that dream through our lens, right? The life that we're living is all through our eyes, our experiences. So when I say not everything is meant for everybody, that's the case. And if it is meant for you, it may be meant for you in a different shape, fashion, or form, right? It may be meant for you in a different shape, fashion, or form. And one of the things that Wendy said up here, everybody needs, I want to go back to this because this is such a valid point, right? Everybody needs to stop thinking they know what other people need, right? But here's the thing, right? How many of us do that every day? How many of us see something like, for me, it's the worst. I am the worst on this, right? We as a society are extremely codependent. Seeking internal validation is codependency. Yes, that's where I was going with this, right? We have this codependent relationship, this fit-in mentality, this people-pleasing mentality. We are very codependent. And I think that all it's going to take is for people, right? For individual people, which make up the collective, because the collective has got to make a shift and a change for things to get better. But you can't shift a collective until you shift individual people, right? The collective is made up of individuals. So individuality is going to have to shine through. And that is going to take people stopping, sitting with their own bullshit for a little while, right? Because that's the hard part, right? Is sitting with your own nonsense and like getting through it, right? And breaking down the wall. And this is not an overnight thing. This is not like all of a sudden you're like, you know what? You're right. We are so what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I've been working on these codependent tendencies personally for the last 2 years. Yeah, and here's the thing, right? We've got to break down, and I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. It's kind of like the training or the what is the word I'm looking for? Y'all help me out with this. It's the like training. It's the it's like when you're brainwashed. What is the word I'm looking for? Please somebody tell me the word I'm looking for. When you are, it's not trained, it's conditioned. When you are conditioned, right? When you are conditioned, we are conditioned from such a young age, right? Conditioning. Thank you, Wendy. I was like, what the fuck is that word? We have been conditioned, right? We have been conditioned to behave this way. We have been conditioned to go with the flow, to find our clicks, and women, I'm not saying that the boys that are watching, the guys that are watching, I get that. But girls, we go into like, are we a cheerleader? Are you a dancer? Are you a girl that does this? Are you a girl that does that? We kind of like get put into these groups and these cliques, and they want us to stay in this little bubble, right? That's not who we are. Some of us are a little bit of tomboy and a little bit of a princess, right? Some of us, we have all of these things that we like, but I'm going to use this for example. Um, I'm a Southern lady, right? I'm a Southern middle-aged woman, and my Christmas decorations are a result of what my mother decided I was going to collect. Anybody else got that situation going on for their Christmas decorations? Because when I was my first year out of the house, my mom decided that I like snowmen, and she decided that I was going to have everything snowmen. And I did not stand for anything, so I fell for it all. Now I love snowmen and they're cool. I've learned to love them, right? But it was one of those things where that was conditioned in me, right? It was not something that I chose. It was just that I fell into that to people please. All right, mom's buying me snowmen. Apparently, I love snowmen. But I feel like a lot of times because when we are having this mentality of everything is for me, and if it's not for me, then it's hurting my feelings, that is a problem, right? That is a problem. That's what I want to break the mold of today. That's what the subject was today, is that not everything is for everybody, and there's no reason to get your feelings hurt when something's not for you, right? And if we can get over that barrier of feeling, right? If for feeling like when something is not for us, it is meant to be against us, because that's the problem, right? That is the problem. Just because it is not for you does not mean it is against you, or it is not, it's bad, right? It just means it's not for you. And I believe in being happy for others, right? And I'm going to be honest, when I see people doing things that like I have been like striving to do, I posted this the other day, I don't get upset. I'm like, this abundance is manifesting. Like it is coming to fruition, right? It is happening, which means that I am like, adjacent to the blessing, which means my blessing is coming. If it can happen for them, it can happen for me. I don't get upset about it. I know a lot of people, like, for the Hometown Hippie Elevated Edibles, I will get a lot of people asking me questions about, like, what do you do for this and how do you do that? And I've had people say, well, why would you tell anybody your secrets? I'm like, it's not a secret. It's not a secret. I enjoy creating food, right? I enjoy being in the kitchen. But somebody else might enjoy that. And why am I going to block their blessing? Like, well, that could be competition. I'm like, well, that's good for me, right? If I am going to be someone, I'm not going to be that person. I'm never going to be that person, right? I am never going to be that person. Where if somebody thinks that if somebody else wants to do what I do and offer what I offer, then I am going to do my stuff at the best of my ability, and know and stand in the fact that my brand and that my things are going to maintain my family and make me happy and do all the things, and my blessing is coming. But I'm not going to try to get my blessing by blocking your blessing. And that's where a lot of this is coming from, right? This codependency, taking it personally. Yes, taking it personally. Trying to sabotage other people, or getting, even I feel like even the emotion of it, and the emotion of it is very natural. So I'm going to tell you this, like, if you get that jealousy twinge when you see other people doing things, or if you kind of get like a little bit of feelings hurt when you feel like you maybe been left out, or somebody didn't think about you. Let me give you an example. I did keto for over a year, and like I said, I'm starting this gut health program tomorrow, and I told Red, I was like, we're gonna have to cook a little bit of different meals, because um, I it's very, very limited. Like the first 20, it's a 21-day challenge. It's not meant to be easy. It's going to detox all the sugar, all the dairy, all the gluten, all of the things, right? So, but when I did keto, I still went to dinner parties, and I still went to baby showers, and I still went to parties and restaurants, and I did things that all the normal people in the world do, that where food was involved. And every time they brought bread to the table at a restaurant, did I get my feelings hurt because I'm on keto? See where I'm going with this? Right? That bread's just not for me. It's okay. Everybody at the table might need it. Or when somebody's like, oh, we're going to have a cookout, if they didn't ask about any kind of dietary things, like, it's fine. Like, I could go there. Maybe they had pasta. Did I get my feelings hurt? I go to a dinner party? Like, well, I knew that they knew I was on keto, but there's 25 people coming to eat. I'm one of those people. They did pasta. They also had a big salad, and I'm going to get my feelings hurt because they didn't cook a specific thing for me that was keto? No. Now, a couple months into it, people that were like my family, like, like my family who like knew, I was like, kind of like, this is how this message, right? Good morning, good morning. I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, they invite us over for dinner and they make lasagna knowing I'm on keto. Like, how rude is that, right? But I was like, there was 25 people eating. Why I'm not getting my feelings hurt by that. This person had enough on their plate. Now, in the moment, maybe for like a second, I was like, this asshole, like, really? Like, really? Like, y'all seeing me do this, right? You didn't even ask, like, And then I stopped and I pattern interrupted, because that's what I'm going to tell you. Like, we're so conditioned to get our feelings hurt. We're so conditioned to take it personally. We're so conditioned to have this codependent relationship on people and feel that need to feel like, we're people, all the things are falling into place and everything's for us. And, we're going to make it work, and we're going to like things, even if we don't like things, to be able to be a part of the crowd. Those are things that, but what I want you to do, I'm sorry, I saw the comments and my train of thought got lost. What I'm going to say is this, right? You are okay. We're loud. We're expected to have that moment of like, ugh, right? But here's the difference, right? I'm not going to sit there at first I was like, shit, what am I going to eat, right? What am I going to do? This kind of sucks. Nobody thought about me. What was me? I had my little 3-minute pity party, right? And then I stopped and I was like, pattern interrupt. Why am I going to sit here all night and make it miserable for everybody else? Because what's going to happen if that hurt my feelings, right? If we're invited to a dinner party, there's 10 couples, we're one of the couples. It's one of my people that know me very well, knows I'm on keto, and I roll in and there's lasagna and blah, right? And I get my feelings hurt. And then I pout the whole night. And I sit quiet and I don't do things. I have not just ruined my evening. Like, my whole evening, I'm hungry, there's nothing to eat. But now I have made my hostess feel some kind of way. I have made her guests feel some kind of way. I have affected the energy in the entire dinner party because I didn't get my way. Doesn't that suck? If you frame it like that, from like, you could frame it where like she invites me over for dinner and then has nothing I can eat. So what kind of dinner party is that? I could tell that story from that perspective, right? From that perspective. Or I can tell the story from, my friend had a beautiful dinner party. The salad was so fresh and so nice, and it was delicious, and I enjoyed eating the salad, and the lasagna looked great, and I still had fun with all of the people and enjoyed my night out. And that, it sucks that I didn't, I could eat cheese, but do you see where I'm coming from with that, right? Feast on the fellowship instead, right? And I did. I don't let it bother me. I'm like, and I'm like, why am I going to ask? I didn't ask her, because here's the thing. This hostess, would have been like, and she would have been. I always tell people everywhere when I was doing that diet, I always said it out loud, right? And this is like, let go and let God and be as good as your word and stand in integrity. When I would tell people, they're like, oh, because her and I had been out to lunch a couple weeks before that. And I was like, you pick the restaurant. She's like, no, you're doing a special diet. Where's your favorite place to eat so that you can eat and not have to like pick and stuff? And I was like, girl, I can eat anywhere. I'm not stressed over it. Food is fuel to me. It is not about that. I don't care. Where do you want to go? Right. And when we went, I was like, I pretty much eat a salad anywhere and everywhere. And she really did make sure that salad was phenomenal. Like, that salad had, and here's the thing, like, she even put the croutons like separate from it. So I knew that she was like, Tammy's going to eat salad and she's going to be good with that. And lasagna is an easy thing to do and all of the stuff. Right. But in the moment, I could have taken what was not meant for me. It was not meant for me, and ruined everybody's night. I could have, and not maybe ruined it, but I could have definitely made it uncomfortable. Definitely made it uncomfortable. But there's no reason to do that, right? There was no reason to do that, because I understand, right? I understand not everything is for everybody. and I don't get my feelings hurt by little things that maybe were not meant to, right? And here's the thing, like, even if they meant to hurt your feelings, like for me, I'm like, if it doesn't work, then it's even better. It's even better if they're trying to hurt your feelings. You're like, not everything's for everybody and it doesn't work, right? Because you take that power back as well. So even if you got like the mean girl who's trying to like, or maybe like the relative who doesn't like likes to poke at you, if you don't allow it, if you do not allow it, and you, right, you control your sphere of emotion, your sphere of influence. If you can control that, you win on so many levels. You win on so many levels, right? So even if you can't do the pattern interrupt and shift perspective and see it from, don't want to ruin everybody's night because my feelings were hurt, don't want to move past this, right? The big thing is to understand that if you know what you stand for, you know who you are, the little things don't really bother you. People can only hurt as far as you let them. I love that, Gina. I love that saying. And I think that we say that, and that's good. That's good lip service. But I do know that, like, even in that situation on that night, right? Um, as much as I want to sit here and say, like, I pattern interrupted completely, a lot of it was I faked it till I faced it, right? Because it really did. I was like, you know, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not going to let this ruin my night. I'm not going to let this ruin my husband's night. I'm not going to let this ruin my hostess's night or her other guest night. And that's just a small little story example of like how something can maybe be stretched out of, how something may be innocent, because her and I have talked about it since, and she was exactly what I said. She's like, the majority of people, I had to book people to feed. Lasagna is kind of her go-to dish, which is awesome. Her lasagna is delicious. It was the thing that she could, number one, afford to do the dinner party because it's easy, and she could do it with time restraints, which I get that, right? I get that. And she said, I know that every time we've been out, and that's why I made the salad like super delicious. And she had some like other things that, like for example, she had appetizers out and she had dips, like the dipping stuff, like for celeries and cucumbers and stuff, because she knew, that I couldn't have that stuff. And she knew I didn't care. She knew that at that point food was fuel. And because I initially got my feelings hurt, then I was like, I told her all these things. Like I said all of these things, and I'm not going to sit here now and act like something different, right? Am I as good as my word? Because I am. But it can be a plethora of things, right? It can be a plethora of things. This last summer, I got my feelings hurt when my friends did something that I didn't get to do. But I learned through that, right? And there's a lesson or a blessing. So as always, we're going to pull our weekly crystal affirmation card. But I've got these new butterfly oracle cards as well for life changes. And they're going to give us a little clarity, right? They're going to give us a little clarity on what topic we're talking about for our crystal affirmation today. So they have things like relationships or realization and epiphanies, emotions, dietary changes, decisions, healthcare changes, spiritual growth. So we're going to figure out what of these cards the life-changing cards we are going to focus on. Exactly. Oh my gosh, Heather just said it. Sometimes I just love y'all so much with the things that y'all come up with. We are allowed to feel. It's how we react. You are completely allowed to feel all the feelings, right? But how those feelings sit with you and how you hold on to those and I say this, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. But I love this. You're allowed to have whatever feeling you're going to have about it. But it's how you react and how you go forth in this world with that feeling. And, I thought it was interesting because one of the things that I was taught from Carly, and I'm hoping to get her on here tomorrow night for Magic Monday, is to go to the next best feeling thought. And that's what I did the night of the dinner party, right? So whenever you are feeling some kind of way, right? When I was feeling a little bit, my feelings were hurt. I was kind of just a little hungry. But, when you're having those emotions, right? And you're like, oh, I cannot pattern interrupt. So I cannot go up here And so Kalina says pattern interrupt is a real challenge, but it's such a great feeling when I'm able to do it effectively and in the moment, right? So here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's a way to help you get to that pattern interrupt in the moment, a little process, okay? Go to the next best feeling thought, right? So the night of the party, I'm mad, my feelings are a little hurt. What is the next best feeling thought, right? So then I started thinking through it in that way. Like, okay, I don't want to be my feelings. I don't want to be angry. So I'm like, what's the next thing I am? I'm not angry. I'm not mad. My feelings are hurt. So I'm disappointed, right? I'm like, what am I disappointed about? I'm disappointed about not having the foods that I want. And I started thinking through it this way. I'm like, but there's plenty of food here to eat. And then I started being grateful that I had options of things to eat. So grateful really works, right? That's, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, I love that. It's right. You can't always change your music, but it's how you dance to the song. So that's what I did. Like I went through the process. Like, I'm not mad. Am I mad? I'm like, I'm kind of mad. Like, no, my feelings are hurt. I'm disappointed. Like, what am I disappointed about? Okay, but how do I alleviate that? Being grateful. And gratitude raises my vibration. I mean, I always try to find the thing I'm grateful for, right? The thing I'm grateful for. Then I went from grateful to like, okay, I'm grateful that there's salad and all the things. And then I'm like, oh, look. And then the gratitude like wheelhouse opened, right? The gratitude wheelhouse opened. And I'm like, and I'm grateful to be out of the house. And I'm grateful that I have to cook any of this. And I'm grateful that I have to clean this mess up. And I'm grateful that I just come be like, waited like, like a guest. And I'm like, what am I mad about? Like in the whole mood, I'm like, I'm fine. Like this is completely fine. And boom, pattern interrupt. And boom, pattern interrupt, right? Maybe when you're angry with your family or your kids, right? You're like, this little bastard. I mean, y'all know that's what you say. I've heard you talk about them, okay? Like, this little shithead. Really? Really? What am I? I'm mad because they didn't listen. Let me walk through it and get that best next. I'm very grateful that I'm a parent, right? I was able, this kid is going to do something. Like, remember something good they did, like pattern interrupt. But I love, love, love this. It's not about, you can't always change the music, but it's how you dance to the song. And I love that, right? It's how you deal with what you have around you, right? How you recover from it. So if you are new here, each week on Sunday Sermon, we do this little talk. Normally we don't know what's going to be. We just it kind of comes up and comes out. So I appreciate you for sticking through with our not everything is for you talk today, right? Not everything is for you. But we do our crystal affirmation card, and we're going to do our butterfly oracle today for life changes. So we're going to take some deep breaths in. Smell the birthday cake. Blow out the candles. Inhale the good shit. Exhale the bullshit. So we're going to pull the card that is the best and most good to the majority of people watching. Again, if this is not for you, it is not for you. I ask that you kind of concentrate, take your deep breath, take a moment, take a deep breath and pattern interrupt today. Let's see what this card is about. I'm going to do 11 shuffles. Actually, I want to do 7 shuffles. 7 is sitting up here and 7 is popped in my head. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And, so our card today, so it looks like people are concerned about their finances, right? You're concerned about your finances. Isn't that card pretty, right? I don't know. The symbolism of that card also kind of has me interested. I don't know. The blue and the red kind of pop at me. I'm not sure what that's about yet. But we're talking about finances today, it looks like. So let's go ahead and do our crystal affirmation card. We're going to inhale the good stuff, exhale the bad stuff. We're going to ask to be a clear and perfect channel. And our crystal card today. Okay. I love this. It's Sunstone. Sunstone. Can y'all see the card? Is it clearing up for y'all? Sunstone says, take pleasure in the things that you do. And we're going to look at Sunstone here today. So don't just stop and smell the roses. Make yourself a bouquet. If you find yourself moving through your day on autopilot, Force yourself to stop and take a moment to appreciate the beauty in your life. If you find you're always focused on what's next, allow yourself to appreciate the moment at hand. You can even put a reminder in your phone if needed. You only get one life. Allow yourself time to enjoy it. Do something that gives you a significant boost of energy and happiness, something that fills your cup and feeds your soul. Take delight in everything you do because it's those little pleasures that make life truly worth living. What is the greatest pleasure in your life? What is a small joy you experience every day? Your crystal affirmation this week: I have plenty of time today. I have plenty of time today. Holy moly. How many of us can actually say that out loud and mean it, right? I have plenty of time today. Today, savor a small moment that you usually take for granted, such as a hot cup of coffee or exchanging smiles with a stranger. Now, I know how these two cards, this message is coming in hot and hard. Are y'all ready for it? Can I get some thumbs up and some thumbs up and some hearts? Can y'all cram on those thumbs up and hearts for me? This message all goes together. This message all goes together. Y'all, can anybody tell me how it's going to go yet? Because I know how it's going to go. I can hear it. Woo, it's coming in loud and hot and hard, right? Hot and hard. Hot and hard. Loving that you're cherishing those. Okay. You need to do this and stop worrying about this. Does that make sense to everybody? Right? We are so busy making a living that we are forgetting to make a life. We are so busy making a living that you don't find time to make a life. That's what the message is today. This is what the message is, okay? You have to enjoy your life, right? And this is as much for me as it is for y'all. It's as much for me as it is for you. I have found over the last year, I have been so busy in business that that's all I have to talk about. That's all I have to do. And you have to stop worrying about like making a living and start making a life. Because if you're working all the time and you're worried about money on the regular, all the time, it's one big reason why I left nursing. Yeah. Here's the thing, right? We are so busy trying to worry about our finances that we forget what we're working for. We forget what we're working for, right? We forget what we are working for. We are working for this. We are working for those moments that you cannot get back. Those moments that, I had people this week say, I needed to be doing this, I needed to be doing that, but my kiddo got to make his first snowman. And I can't get that back. And he was so excited to see the snow. Guess what? Don't worry about the getting things done. Worry about, get busy living versus getting busy working sometimes. Now, I love that. I love that so much. Savor the moment because it will pass and not return, right? But we find it easy. This is another thing that not everything is for us, right? Not everything is for us. But what things that are for us, we are losing sight of those things. Now this is going back to our original message today, right? This is going back to our original message today because here's what I'm going to tell you, right? Not everything is for you. And when you are trying to make everything is for you, and you're trying to to get it all, make it all yours, right? You're not enjoying the things that are meant for you. These are the things, right? Take pleasure in the things you do. Take pleasure in the things you do, right? Do you take pleasure in getting your feelings? Is it pleasurable to get your feelings hurt? Is it pleasurable to get upset when not everything goes your way? Right? If you don't know you don't know what it is that you need, you don't know what it is that you want, you're blocking your blessing, right? You need to get clear about it, right? You need to understand, Take pleasure in the things that you do, right? Sometimes we're just doing things in life because we're told we have to do them, right? If you're not taking pleasure in the things you do, then you need to reevaluate the hell you're doing. Just being honest with you. Just being honest with you. But I want to tell you right now, it's like when you're worried about this and you're not seeing the forest for the trees, right? You're not seeing the forest for the trees. When you're only worried about this, right? I'm trying to get this to clear up. It's such a good card. When you're only worried about your finances and work and all the things that are going to like get you the next step forward. And again, I tell y'all, it's always it's like I'm pointing this way. If you feel like I'm pointing at you, trust me, it's like, okay, Tammy, get your shit together, right? Take pleasure in what you do. Now, here's another little way to look at this, right? Another way, what everything is not for everybody can also mean this, right? If you take pleasure in what you do, and if you find joy in the things that you do, even in the things that you do to make your living, if you find joy and you find pleasure in the things that you do, then this will come easily when you combine them, right? So again, not everything is for everybody, not every way. Like, don't be so busy making a living that you can't make a life when you can figure out how to make your life your living too, right? I think you should enjoy the trees on the way to the forest. I think that you should appreciate each individual tree and the collective, right? And that's the idea of what we need to do, right? You need to understand I love that. I love that analogy actually, Gina, when we talk about, I think you should enjoy the trees on the way to the forest. I think that you need to appreciate each individual tree that makes up the forest for what they have to offer. Because some trees are tall and proud and create shade, right? Others are falling over and decaying and provide you a seat in the woods when you sit down. Um, some are going to have beautiful evergreen and they're green forever. Some are going to drop their leaves in the fall, right? Every tree in the forest serves its purpose, just like every single one of you in this world serves a purpose, right? And understand that as an individual, you matter, and what you do matters as much as how you then fit into the forest of the things around you. So that's a whole lot to take in today. Again, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for coming on Sunday sermons and letting me talk my way through stuff. A lot of these times, these messages are meant as much for me as they are for any of you. Anybody that's heard this today that felt like that was a message for them, I hope that you will do something with it this week. If you are someone who journals, like I always say, these are great writing prompts for the week. And the crystal affirmation writing prompt for this week for your journals is unless you're disc golfing, there aren't usually good trees. I love that. It's funny. It's the time and place, right? They're beautiful on the sidelines of the field to give you shade and to give you like wind block from the wind. But there are good trees. They're 100% good trees, even in disc golfing. They just have their place, right? They just have to know their place. So your writing prompts for this week, if you are journaling, which I encourage you to journal, what are your greatest pleasures in life? Here's where the rubber meets the road, right? Here's where all these conversations actually turn in to you doing something with it and helping yourself. And again, I can't do it for you, right? And it's up to you. I'm journaling it. I'm going to journal it. I'm going to ask myself, because again, how do you know if you don't define what it is that makes you happy, right? So journal, what is your greatest pleasure in life? And then another question you can ask yourself is, what is a small joy you experience every day? And that is going to help you to break pattern interrupt, because you're looking at that every single day small thing. And maybe you're having a moment where you're sitting in that kind of like, right? Go to your journal. Find what is a small pleasure that you experience every day. It helps you to pattern interrupt. Go do that, right? For me, I really enjoy watching my birds outside. So if I need a pattern interrupt, I know I can stop what I'm doing, walk over to my window and watch my bird feeder and watch these birds interact with one another as a whole thing, give them little fun voices, whatever. Maybe it's stopping and taking your caramel coffee break, right? Maybe it's, I need a caramel right now, or maybe I need a gummy, or maybe I need a bowl pack, whatever it may be, right? If you're in party with Tammy, maybe it's like stopping and going to find your favorite $10 or $200 toy and taking a moment for yourself. Whatever it is, be okay with it. Know that not everything is for you, but what is for you is for you. And you do it however you want to do it, right? And that's the important thing, right? Is finding what is for you. defining what is for you, standing in what is for you, and that is your power. So today I'm going to encourage you, as always, if you're going to party, hashtag party with Tammy. If you are here and you need anything else, let me know. I am off for the rest of the day. Sundays, I did a Sunday sermon, and I'm pretty much taking some time this afternoon. I did some housework yesterday. I just needed a little break, a little breaky poo. I got to run to do some shopping tomorrow, and then the sweet treat of the week will be announced tomorrow night. If you got the text messages, you know it's coming, but if not, as always, peace, love, and feast, and hashtag stay elevated. I love you all, and I will talk to you all very soon. And we'll be back tomorrow night with Magic Monday at 8:30 live. Have a great day, and talk to y'all later.